What's going on, everyone? It's Eman here from Eman's World of Geek, and I just want to say thank you for coming by and showing up today to this very special interview that I have for all of us. Um, a lot of us know I'm a big fan of these creators that are coming up, and I was able to reach out to them, and they have so graciously allowed me to bring them onto this show and talk about their next project. I absolutely love them. I consider them family now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and run this little intro right here. Today's special guests come from the beautiful country of Spain. One brother is busy making music as a verbal tactician whose rapid fire delivery makes his bars both technically impressive and rich in detail. The other brother has brought us outstanding imagery for Godzilla There Be Dragons and Godzilla There Be Dragons 2 Sons of Giants on IDW Publishing. Together, this sibling duo brought us the emotionally charged and beloved independent comic book We Live and are set to release their new comic for Mad Cave Studios, Blade Forger, in May of 2025. Ladies and gentle geeks, welcome to the show, Inaki, Roy, the Miranda brothers.
Hi, man.
Everyone loves you. You hear that?
What a great introduction, man. Thank you for that.
That's how we do it here on Eman's World. We're here to boost you up. This is all about you guys right here.
Already did.
Roy, Inaki, welcome back, you guys. I appreciate you guys coming back on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
I know recently you guys were at New York Comic Con. Could you tell us a little bit about that experience right there?
Well, it was good, a great experience. It's mostly we got a lot of praise from We Live, from fans that approached to the table, and they were really curious about the storyline of Blade Forger, what it was about. So we mostly I did because Roy allowed me to speak with him in English, and I got tired of telling the storyline to everybody. And I remember one time both Roy and I say, let's practice what the story is about, so I can say like as short as possible. So it was mostly meeting fans and getting to tell them what Blade Forger was about. It was great.
Now I know New York is big. There's a lot of Latinos out there. Roy, were you able to explain the book but in Spanish to some of the Latino customers? No podías.
No, we don't have Latin people. We don't have Latin people.
Next time you guys see the Miranda brothers out at a show, go to Roy, all the Latinos out there, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Argentinians, Spaniards, all of you guys. Go up to Roy next time and ask him in Spanish.
We did have Latin people, but they spoke us in English.
And do it in Spanish. We need to get Roy to talk a little bit more about this. Okay?
Yeah, we should.
Let me say what's up to some of the people that did come by in the chat. Brian LCS, happy Friday. He's in the house hanging out with us. Good afternoon, Brian. My friend Greg Stone Groovy. He's in here hanging out with us. Anger Management 85. Fire. He's out here hanging out with us, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with us. And the Miranda brothers. I'm not so you guys, I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is going to be we're going to talk almost exclusively about Blade Forger. So I have a few questions, that I want to ask you guys, and as bare bones as they can be, because look, I have two. I wasn't even in New York, you guys. I'm here in California, and I got two of them signed by Roy and Inaki. Shout out to my boy out there, Flo, for doing this for me. And then we have Real Rude here in the house hanging out. Yo, and then we have Big Mike and Toys here watching. So we have a few people out here watching you guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. Roy, Inaki, I know you've done it many times before. Let's do it one more time. Put it out on the video, and hopefully you guys can say, oh, you know what? You want to know about the video? Go ahead and watch Eman's interview. Tell us about Blade Forgers.
Well, you mean the what the story is about?
Yes, the story.
Well, we came up with a world where there's a new energy source that it's being discovered, and that creates a world war for its control. So the lords of the kingdoms or the lands, or however you want to call them, get together and create the Blade Forgers Treaty. And that treaty says that from now on, there's going to be a neutral emperor ruling the whole empire and controlling Corum. Now it's going to be Imperial Corum. And the twist, the thing is that every 5 years, I mean, the emperor has to be a blade forger. A blade forger is like a mystical swordsman that is able to invoke spirits from the Gara Gara, that's from a mystical warrior's ancient place. And so the emperor has to be a blade forger. And every 5 years, there's a tournament called the Tournament of the Five Rings, where it gets decided. I mean, 16 blade forgers from all around the world get to participate, and one of them will have the opportunity to beat the emperor and become the new emperor, or the emperor stays on in the throne or 5 years more. That's basically. And we start with Owada. It's the main character, who is like the hero of the Forsaken, and he promises to become the emperor and change the world. So that's the basic premise.
I absolutely like it because I've talked about this with a few people already. They like the premise of in order for you to be emperor, you're gonna have to fight for it.
Right.
We
And
like
no matter where you're from. That's your
yeah,
bloodline.
yeah, exactly. There's no it's your skill. It's not color, it's not race, it's not your blood. It's how good you are. So can you share us the origin behind this project? Like, was there a specific moment of inspiration that sparked the idea for Blade Forger?
Right, we laugh because the beginning of this is really crazy and shows you how, you know, the paths of creativity are really unexpected. You just have to start rolling. Because I was watching, I don't know how to call it. It was like a video edit of Empire Strikes Back, where I don't know who does that, but it makes like a rap mix where it's not rap. I think they just put a song. It's kind of rap, right?
Yeah.
And I just I love the sensation of, seeing Luke Skywalker and the pilot singing while they just put images of them and they dubbed it, so they're singing. So I don't know why it just came to my mind to the image of a warrior, kind of Flash Gordon He-Man kind of thing, uh, coming out of his home and starting a journey singing. It was like imagine Conan as a musical, and the whole movie, it was a musical. Conan singing, everybody singing, and he was just going to a tournament to become the emperor. That was just the crazy idea that I had in my mind. It was, don't ask me why, it's just that. So I called Roy. We had at that time, we usually had like phone calls where we tell ideas and everything. And in that call, in one night, we created almost, not entirely, but the main world of Blade Forger, with the forges and the fights and the spirits, like uh, everything. I mean, everything was created in a phone call. That from that idea, we just started talking, and we put video games that in our minds. I remember, I don't know if, which, but for example, we spoke about Dragon Ball, the tournaments on Dragon Ball, and it was just fun putting pieces together. And that was like, no, Roy, ¿cuánto hace que fue?
En mitad de la pandemia, 2021.
Yeah, that was like 2021. And we did like a whole story. It was another character, and we did all until the end of it. It was like and how can I say it was like it had an ending. It was like not like a series, like a mini series,
Yeah.
and just it stayed there. That's from that on we didn't touch that idea, and now when the we leave shit happened. We just started speaking about what to do when we saw that it wasn't going to be easy to bring Willie back. So we, undusted that idea and started speaking again and turned into we dedicated months again to create a new idea out of that idea, and that's conversations. We went through different uh, kind of stories and kind of readers in sense of with we one at once we thought it was going to be a kids story, but then Elden Ring took the whole of it and they said no, we can go darker, and I mean that was the whole process.
You mentioning He-Man and looking at video games, Dragon Ball Z, reading the ash can, I immediately felt like I was put into the middle of a Final Fantasy He-Man video game. It just felt like that to me. Spoilery-ish little scene when Awada he turns into his battle Kaiser, and immediately I'm like, ah, this reminds me of He-Man. It reminds me of the currently I'm playing Final Fantasy 16, where the character turns into his summons. So immediately I already draw comparisons to things that are in my world. With you saying that, it's kind of like solidifying what I'm already getting myself into. Now, how did you pitch this idea to Mad Cave Studios, and why Mad Cave?
Roy, ¿crees?
No, que realmente empezamos a construirlo antes de pitchearlo. Con quien pitcheamos fue con Scott Collectibles. Y una vez que teníamos todo bastante adelantado fue cuando presentamos el proyecto. Y bueno, en el caso de Mad Cave, ya sabes por qué.
Well, and by saying that we really, created the pitch before thinking of Mad Cave, and because and then this is done in collaboration with Scott's Collectibles, who have been really nice to us. They really, have us our back. I don't know how you say it. And so we created this without thinking where it was going to go. We just wanted to create. Scott's Collectibles, allow us to do that without such freedom. And once we had it, we just because Mike March, we know him. I knew him from his and DC times, and that's why we live. When he was in the aftershock, we pitched it to him, and it was just coincidence that he got his new position as editor in chief and another another big title. I don't know exactly which one is at a Mad Cave. So we just spoke to him, sent it to him, and he loved it, and that's it. We with this time we we created a contract that bankruptcy won't won't stop us.
Smart. I like that. I like that. I know what happened before. We're going to do this a little bit differently. I like it.
Yeah. Learn.
So kind of going into this question from my boy Big Mike here. You've been known to do seasons with your previous work. Can we expect the same thing for Blade Forgers? Is it going to be limited? Is it going to be ongoing? Is it going to be broken up into seasons? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean the whole story that we created it's in our head. It's like doing One Piece. Meaning it's a long run if you want to, because or Game of Thrones. Those are the two examples that we can say that what this is more like. And in issue 3 of these first 5 issues, you'll realize how big the story is. I don't want to spoil it, but you'll realize, oh wait, this is big. there's a lot of story to be told yet, and but
And
yeah.
we can't wait for it. My friend Flo Dameron here was great meeting you guys at NYCC, and you guys are probably like, why do you have so many copies of
I
Blade
remember
Forger?
him. Yeah.
2 of them are right here. That's why. I was like, I need 2. I want to support the brothers. So I ordered 2. So my friend there, he sent them over to me, and grateful, to this day, Flo. Thank you very much for that and for supporting the Miranda brothers.
Yeah.
One thing that you've kind of spoiled us with in going back to We Live is you helped us set the tone for each issue by having a song included with a QR code. Can we expect the same thing with Blade Forger? For those who picked up the Ashcan, we already got the first song, but can we expect that moving forward also?
Yes. That's, I mean, and we're very proud of the main theme that it took us a while to get the exact sensation that we wanted for that song. And because, in the world of Blade Forger, it's set in a world that's not Earth. It's undetermined, but it's like a 1940s, 1950s American culture. So there's a radio that with that, let's create. Imagine the Blade Forger show in that world. It would have a main theme, just like and the Lone Ranger show in the radio. So we wanted to give that feeling just to feel what kids in that world or teens or adults feel with the presence of Blade Forgers in that. They're like mystical persons that roam their world, and they're fans, and they're every 5 years they're following their path to become a emperor, and it's like having stars, like football stars. Because the system, I mean, I'm going. You were asking about the music, and I'm not going too far.
I'm letting you talk. This is your book. You tell us anything and everything, Inaki. It's okay.
We paired with Roy's friend. Well, no, it's my friend too, with Mario Gonzalez. No, sí, Mario Gonzo.
Lorente.
Joder, I'm sorry.
Not the same, Inaki. Not the same.
No, not the same.
Just kidding. But you guys paired. That's pretty good.
Yeah, with him, and we just it was the same magic as we felt in We Live, in creating the scenes and what we wanted. This time is more. I know Gonzo Mario is really proud of what he's doing, but he says this time he's going like further into creating a very cohesive sound for the whole series. He's very, right now he's really focused on doing something that has no holes in terms of that everything makes sense. I mean, he goes so far that thinking he asks us a lot of questions about the characters, what their feelings, and he wants to create like little details in the music that you won't be able to tell, but it's there. So he's really taking it seriously.
And listening to the first, song, and it sounds more like a movie, not like more like a movie theme song, very big, lots of like horns. It feels, you mentioned it, but it feels very much like a Conan type of vibe. And you mentioned also that this is like 1930s Americana also. So what made you bring those two worlds together? Because that is what I got out of this. It felt, when we saw the first images, about a year back, I thought it was going to be very, almost, I don't want to say medieval, but like Conan-ish, big, brawly, grass skirts, big monsters. But now you're also including, like you said, the old radio, the old airplane that we saw in the ash can. So it did feel like the environments, are blended. What made you go in that direction?
Right? No,
No sé, ahora mismo estoy
yeah, I think the I remember having a lot of conversations, and it was it all started really, I think, because of the energy source. So we started comparing. Okay, how would that world be with this energy source? And we wanted to be very logical when what vehicles do they have in this world? How does the energy source is going like it's impacting the technology of that world? And so it became more of a bringing a logic to what moment of the world technological technological speaking sorry we were at. That's we just started like seeing possibilities, and we thought the best moment would be in that 1930, 1940, 1950s kind of era. That it was because of that, I think.
También hay algo que es que nos influyó un poco, tampoco, pero fue la época en la que Japón no permitía la entrada de la pólvora, que es un poco respetar la parte más tradicional, y de ahí viene lo de las espadas.
Yes, yeah. What Roy is saying is that it also we had a like oh, I'm not going to. I was going to start talking. No, I'm going to translate. It was the moment where Japan was not allowing guns powder to enter their world because they were like very with katanas and swords, and it was like that clash of cultures with a new technology, let's call it, from the West, and the medieval classic how do you say moment, that era that Japan was living in. So we were also interested in that part, because we are speaking about warriors with swords, because in this world people aren't allowed to have guns. They just weapons. They just can only have swords or steel, but only the empire can have gunfire. So it was also that part.
Which we'll probably get into later issues of the book, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. Now I'm going to spoil something stupid. So this is not spoiled. But one of the characters we have in mind is like a rogue that he does use pistols, and he's wanted for the Empire wants him. He's being hunted by the Empire. But he's a blade forger. So this is like it's a big world. We have a lot of characters that we can play with.
I like that. Well, it's a whole new world that you guys are developing. You guys have all of the characters in the world that you can develop. I like this. This is you guys are starting fresh, and you guys can bring us new characters. Now, thinking about how the book was created, let's go ahead and go into like the creation of it and whatnot. Inaki, were there specific techniques or styles that you experimented with in the art for this project that you hadn't tried before?
I mean, I think I rely most on telling Eva, the colorist, that we also team with her, just as we did in We Live. One thing I asked Eva, we had some conversations, is that I mean it's really subtle, and we'll think, because these things you can't say, okay, this is how it's going to be. It's something that you create an intention, and then you see where it goes. But I asked her to like focus on giving light and shadows to all the scenes, and that's something that it's not easy to when you're like creating a style, like to be just so precise. But there's something that different with We Live, that we want to give it a more light and shadow, like it's more present than in the scenes. And as for my drawings, I think the difference with I feel like I'm like a little bit better. I'm more mature, and I got to do more bulky characters, and I really just like sense it as I go. I don't have a specific thing to say that okay, for Blade Forger I changed my style in this or that. I just have fun.
That's it. That's actually the biggest thing right there. As long as you're having fun doing something that you love and making a living out of it, that's the important thing. And that's actually a big lesson that I really want to be able to teach the kids is have fun making money. Don't be, don't be bored. Don't hate what you're doing to make money. Inaki and Roy here are having fun making it. So do that, you guys. Roy.
Yep.
As in previous projects, you actually had a variant cover, and that's when we found out, oh my goodness, he doesn't just write, he also can draw. Roy, can we expect a couple of pages or a couple of variant covers drawn by Roy Miranda?
Maybe variant covers, but the pages, no. I'm not a good drawer. I'm very bad.
Hold on. I'm not trying to put a rift between the both of you, but when you guys did your sketch a couple of years ago, who actually won that one? Roy, I know Inaki's known for drawing, but Roy did a pretty good job to where people, oh, snap. All right. So you guys heard that here first. Roy, maybe.
Yeah, I have more fun writing than drawing, I have to say. So go ahead.
Oh, really? Roy's like, oh man, don't do that. Now you did mention Ava, and I did want to ask about Ava and Dave as far as collaboration goes for this book right here. You did mention to Ava that you wanted her to focus more on the lighting. Other than the lighting, what are some of the differences that both of you took when it came to working with Dave and Ava on this project compared to your previous works?
Well, with Eva, I think it was mainly we're trying to, and it's not easy to create like the balance between something flashy and classic, but she's trying. I mean, I'm just asking with her. She's trying to give it with the coloring a more classic feel. We'd like this to, if you get this, the book 10 years from now, it will have this classic feeling, not like flashy from that era that it was trying to look neat. So she's trying not to render too much and give space to the colors as more flat or spread, not just putting every detail. I don't like, mostly in my drawings need space, need to breathe. They don't need the colors to put all the linings and the muscles. I don't like that because it kills my line. So this, I think we're going a little bit further than we live, and trying to create more a classic feel to the book. And with Dave, we were so fortunate. I mean, we just asked him, would you be able to be part of this? And he says, hell yeah. So, and Dave is someone who you really just have to leave him, do his work, because he's so good. I mean, we never met in person, but the strange thing is that he knows exactly what to do with the book. It's phenomenal.
Yes, he is, because he's able to bring an emotion to the book just using the words and the letter and the bubbles. Like he picks the right word bubbles, sharp bubbles when it's exciting, and he does a really good job to be able to express the emotion coming from the characters, and he does a phenomenal job. You guys are right. Now, Inaki, was there a scene or a sequence in this project that stands out as a favorite or something that you're particularly proud of?
The last page of issue 5.
And as we know, issue 5s are usually kind of important in the Miranda brothers world. So pay attention. What about with you, Roy? Is there a particular sequence, in the storytelling that you're proud of also?
No es una página en completo, pero me gusta cómo hemos creado dentro del arco. Es que no quiero contar nada.
I want to spoil it.
Hay lo importante que ocurre en mitad del número 3, que para mí es es muy icónico en cuanto dentro del arco completo.
He likes. I'm going to make a kind of a joke, but I think it's appropriate. He likes there's a black flat page in the middle of issue 3. That's the page he likes, where I don't draw anything. Yeah, but
That's
yeah.
Roy's talent right there. I'm not drawing anything, but I'm going to do my best at this.
Quería decir que lo hice yo.
He's going to say he did it.
So he did do some illustrations. Okay. Look for the black pages in issue 3. That's all Roy. Okay, you guys. Got a question from the chat here. Greg's asking, now, will there be any variant covers, or are we just doing single A covers?
Yeah, there are going to be variant covers, an official one at least. We don't know how many, but we know there are going to be.
Is Roy trying? I love your work, Inaki. I love your work. Don't get me wrong, but Roy, are we gonna get?
Mine.
By the way, Roy, your
I would say no. I mean, it's still on the table. Yeah, maybe.
Like issue 3 from the previous work. I still have that in my office. I just want you to sign by Roy, only by. I love you, Inaki. Don't get me wrong. We need Roy to shine once in a while, and I have his Queen card cover.
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to know, Roy. People are looking and making sure. Hey, like we want some Roy art as well. Okay. To wind it down a little bit here, you guys, again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but now what themes or messages do you hope readers of Blade Forgers will take away compared to the other stories that you've done before?
I think the main I mean, there are 2 phrases that come to my mind. One, a promise is a promise. How far a promise, if you keep it, will take you. And because it's bigger than you think, a promise is a promise. And then the question that we put on the table in this story is, can a single person change the world? Is it possible? That's that's what I would say. Roy, pero
estoy de acuerdo.
That being said, a promise is a promise. What do you hope the readers experience or feel when they read this story? Or is there a specific reaction that you're hoping to get once they read this story?
Roy thinks, I think we're going further a little bit, and then we live, and at one point you won't be able to tell who's the main character here, because we can say the main character is the one who has the most options of becoming the emperor. We don't know who that is, so don't attach to any character.
Which we've learned from you guys, which we have learned. Look, my friend Flo, as I see, just so you know, if you guys see Flo again at next year's New York Comic Con, he'll be picking up about 30 copies of Blade Forger just for me. This is just to have in my box, you know. Oh man, Roy.
Thinking of his answer here.
No sé si es la respuesta, pero pienso que hay algo que tiene este primer volumen, sobre todo, que es que nos ha permitido ir avanzando en profundidad. ¿Sabes? Como que las emociones van profundizando cada vez más a medida que avanzan los números. Eso que es algo que en su momento no nos permitimos con We Live, y esta vez sí. Y es algo de lo que creo que más me gusta y me hace sentir orgulloso.
Now, Roy saying that in this story, this first 5 issues, we had the opportunity to really dig into the depths of the emotions of the characters. Something that we weren't really able to do, before with the Willy, because it was of the length that we had to, put the story inside of. But this time we're taking our time. And the 5 issues go fast, but we're taking our time and we're really digging into the characters. And there's a net of characters that we're going to explore.
and we're looking
That's
forward to that.
Roy says he really likes of that that we did in these first 5 issues.
Good. And again, as long as you like doing what you're doing, I know we're gonna get the best work out of the both of you, and that's really all we want is just the stories that we know that the both of you as a unit can tell. Thank you both so much for joining me today, my friend Big Mike over here. Now, see, as long as you give him a great death, he's more than happy to be drawn in your books. Okay, as long as you give him.
Oh, I think this is the moment you can show your character.
Yes, you know, and then at the end of if you guys have picked up the ash can, for those who've picked up the ash can, and for those who are going to, maybe pick up issue number. There was at the very end of this book, I noticed something, and Roy, Inaki, I need to know who is this man? He's at the end of the book, and he's giving a tour. This man looks familiar, you guys. I need to ask, who's this Gara Gara tour guy with one arm? And how did he lose his arm? Why is he missing an arm? This is uncanny.
In the story, you mean? No.
I just need to know in general. Do I need to call a lawyer, Inaki?
No, you'll know later on. You'll know who that character is. Not now, but he's a important character of the story.
Did you hear that guy? This good-looking guy right here is an important character to this. I just want to stress that right there. Okay.
I mean, that character guy. He travels along with an old lady throughout the empire, and selling like curses. You can say curses that teach you things, like teachings. I don't know in English how the word the curse. Like he teach like video of teachings of how to become a blade forger, and he sells action figures of battle kaisers and blade forgers, and he goes telling the story of the Gara Gara to everybody. The Gara Gara is like the mystical area land where blade forgers get their powers from. So it's another universe, big universe, also in another dimension. So he's like a very happy character, but there's a story there.
Can't wait to hear his story. Again, he's a good-looking guy. I don't know. There's something about him. I'm drawn to him. So again, Inaki and Roy, thank you very much for joining me today. Do me a favor, let everyone know how they can find you on social media.
Oh, well, you can Google me.
Oh, yeah.
No, you can find me in Instagram. Is JoyArt. Is JOII art. That's, or in Twitter, Inaki Miranda.
And then Roy.
En Roy Le Flaco, as ROY LEFLACO.
There you guys go. I went ahead and put it in the chat right there. Joy Art, Roy Le Flaco. That's how you guys can find. And Roy, how can they find your music? Because I hear that you also do music.
Yep, I'm working on it.
You are? Okay. On Spotify, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's the same. No, it's different. Roy Miranda Mercurio? I don't know.
I'll help you out because I put your music on a lot. Roy Mercurio on Spotify. That's where he's at. Yeah.
ROYMERCUR.
IO. There you go. Oh man, my friends. Again, I hold both of your work very near and dear to my heart. And again, I really do appreciate you coming on my channel to share Blade Forgers. And I know everyone around here is looking forward to it. We're looking for the next story from the Miranda brothers, and I know that there's no disappointment coming. We're all looking forward to it. So again, Roy, Inaki, thank you very much for joining me.
Oh,
thank you for having us.
And to the chat, to everyone that showed up, and if you're watching this on the rewind, thank you very much. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified anytime I drop any videos like this. And we'll talk to you guys in a future video. Have a good one. Peace.
Bye.
Hold up. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.